Hey guys, it's Dan again, back with another short story creator commentary for Doghouse Saturday Night, the second story in the second issue. I am the creator of this comic, Sundays in Space. It is about a group of space outlaws that just go around getting into adventures. This is the cover if you guys want to pick up this issue. And again, like I said, it's by me. Wonderful colors by Giovanna. And yeah, so let's take a look at Doghouse Saturday Night. All right, so let's see. How do we start out? A mysterious stranger from the future appears on board. After delivering an important message to Red, they have one last piece of unfinished business: a spar with hands. Okay, so this guy appears on board. We can see here it's Saturday night. This should have been more of an establishing shot. I realize it's not clear, but kind of imagine we're in the office of the captain. This is his desk, and this guy from the future appears and puts this urgent message on the captain's desk. All right, so that takes care of the first part of this, delivering an important message. Now, for some reason, this character wants to have a fight with hands, which is our kind of ninja character. So what we see here is now he is going to look for her, and we catch the audience up that we're on board the ship, and you can see everybody on board is. It sounds like they're having a party. You got some whistling and clapping, and someone is yelling out, "Can you believe we're about to see a natural Sunday?" They're pretty excited. What is a natural Sunday? All right, so this is where I'm going to explain why my book is called Sundays in Space. So to do that, let's jump back to some older pages. I mentioned that I was making a larger book. It was going to be 60, 70, 80 pages long. This is some of those pages. I kind of did the pencils and then dropped out. But that story did really explain what the whole Sundays in Space, or it helped capture that. So some of these pages aren't done. Like there should have been the ship here flying through space. So what we have here is all of a sudden, alert. This is an emergency announcement from the UTCP. I forget what that stood for. Universal Time, something, blah, blah, blah. All time consumers are required to, and it's kind of broken up like an automated, the weather alerts and all that. So this is coming through the ship. It's broadcast to all ships. And it tells all time consumers to reset their onboard timestamp to, and it's always the same date, Sunday, 20, 30, 40, 50, right? So what is going on here, and then the message just repeats, right? So what's going on here is this is daylight savings time gone way out of control. If you're anything like me, anytime, when we spring forward or fall back, I'm always off for like a week, right? Always takes a little bit of time to adjust. And this is whoever runs this organization, which is not friendly to normal people. They're constantly trying to keep people. The way I feel during daylight savings time, that adjustment period, they're always putting this pressure on people. It can happen at any time. There's no schedule. It can just out of the blue, you get this alert and hey, it's Sunday again, right? So this kind of explains what's going on there. And I like this shot here. So they're all in one of the rec rooms of the ship. We can see Captain Red over here cooking. Everybody looks like they're about to have a big dinner, right? Anyway, and then let's see. I think, So this is that same story, a little bit later in the story, right towards the end, and we can see it happened again. So like within one day, in this story, it reset to Sunday twice. So yeah, they get the same message, and yep. So that is why it's called Sundays in Space. And I think I got another page to show. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is a good one. So let's go. And if you look back at my earlier video, or my very first one, the Thanksgiving video, uh, here's Annie. And I had mentioned that she was just a background character. She just kind of had one little time she spoke in the whole 60, 70 pages. And this was it right here, right? So we can see Kick back here. He's just chilling, spinning his gun. He's like, how many natural Sundays? So a natural Sunday is when it has been reset to Sunday and you make it all the way through to a real Sunday. There's been no reset. So a full 7 days, that's a natural Sunday. So he's like, well, how many have we seen? She's like, we grew up together on this ship. We've seen the same amount. The whole time she's talking to him, she's calling out. You can see she's kind of like going through these shelves. She's given him like a list, a grocery list, basically, of what they need to pick up at the next stop. And he's like, well, how many have we seen? He's like, well, we've seen the same amount. And he's like, well, there's that month I was locked up on some prison on some planet. It never reset there. Of course it did. You were just in jail. They didn't tell you. And then one of the things they need is salmon flanges. If you're familiar with the Thundercats, there is some audio online you can find of outtakes of the voice actors, and they kind of a blooper reel of the voice actors basically saying weird things. And I remember the actor for Panthro was there was some line about salmon flanges, and he's like, "What the fuck is a salmon flange?" It's pretty funny. But yeah, so she's like, yeah, it's reset. It didn't matter if they didn't tell you, it was resetting. So how many have we seen? And she's like, we've seen them all if you look at it the right way. Like, she doesn't believe in the reset. You got to keep track of your own stuff. So yeah, so that kind of goes into it. And then in this same issue that we're looking at now, after the short story we're looking at, I'm not really showing like some of the pinups and stuff, or one pagers. I'm just going over like the big sequential stories in the book. But this was a one pager that's also in this book. It immediately follows the story we're looking at. In those first two books, I did a series where the ship cat is always just at weird moments when Red is not expecting it. Uses his electronic or his robot arm to smack the captain. You've seen those cat videos where someone's walking and the cat just pops them in the head or something. That's kind of the inspiration. But we can see here, like, Captain Red's doing something, gets popped by the cat, and it just kind of goes through Monday, time reset, Monday, time reset, Monday, and then finally it starts working through the days. And yes, I spell Wednesday that way on purpose. I don't know why, but it's not a typo. So it's kind of saying on a natural Sunday, you're supposed to feel good on a natural Sunday. And on this natural Sunday, he outsmarted the cat. The cat is not going to pop him in the head today because he's got this fishbowl on his head. And yeah, so that kind of explains, I guess, maybe, why this is called Sundays in Space. Let me get rid of these pages. Yep. So yeah. So this mysterious stranger is looking for hands. Looks like the crew is celebrating. They're about to see a natural Sunday. I love this drawing so much. I love it. First of all, I want my characters to be very musical. I imagine like there's some room on the ship where they always hang out. I think I showed it in that other thing where they were cooking and about to eat and all that. And there's a stage in there. They love karaoke, or maybe they make their own music. I don't know. In fact, in this one, it's an original song. But yeah, I just want to do a lot with music in my book. I haven't done it as much, but this was one place where I got to play with that, and I just love this. She's like, who's excited? She's up on stage. She's about to rock it out. Love this guitar. It's got a knife on it. It's got a scope. It's got some front optics. It's got all kinds of weird things plugged into it. It's got a belt fed, you can feed bullets through it. It's just insane, right? But yeah, so anyway, the mysterious stranger's tapping on the wall just lightly, enough for Hands. Hands can hear that. And she's like, oh, what's going on here? She hears this tapping. So she gets up to go investigate what's going on. She looks out, she sees that dude kind of darting, he was outside that doorway, but he darts off, so she goes after him. Now, I will explain the best way to read this. So Annie's gonna keep the party rolling, and she starts singing this song, and then at some point when Hans walks out of the room, we can no longer hear her dialogue, but it is coming through the ship's loudspeakers. So this is Annie still rocking out in the rec room, but we just kind of hear her music being broadcast on the speakers throughout the ship. So the best way to read this, it'll be clear on the next page, but we can see her singing. And I thought about singing this for you guys, but I am not going to do that. I might sing a line or two. Here we go. So remember on Monday we were dead broke. Now it's a Sunday and we're rocking space cloaks. So yeah. So let's not do that again. But so she's singing. Hans is going after this dude. Sees that he went into Bay 4. He tries to grab her, but she's got these martial art skills. Blocks, dives in after him, punches at him. He wraps his tentacle arm around her arm. She breaks something open. This fire starts, and it's about to. They're about to throw down. All right, so then we jump over here, and now this is where it's easier to explain the best way to read this. So you'll have the two characters fighting, talking. It's best to read that separately and then come back a second time around and read these dialogue pieces, the intercom pieces. You can tell because it's kind of broken up like audio. So that would probably be the best way to read that without being confused. But yeah, so he says, this is 8. Now we know 8. 8 is our robot character, right? But he's saying, hey, I'm 8 from the future. Okay. We had 2 goals tonight. The first was official crew business, which he's done, which was deliver that letter to Captain Red. Well, he didn't really deliver it to Red. He just kind of put it on his desk. And the second one, he wants to offer a challenge to her, a spar. The first one to land a hit wins. Now, we'll learn in the future why he wants to do that. But yeah, I mean, it's not a battle to the death. He just wants to spar. He just wants to have a friendly fight with, so she trained him in the future. From this point on, or from some point on, she's trained him to become a martial artist. And he just wants to, now that he knows more from being in the future, he wants to go back and challenge her when, she was a little bit less knowledgeable. I don't know about that, but it doesn't work out for him. Excuse me. So what we have here now is they begin fighting. The song is continuing to go on in the background. He says he's from 8 years in the future. Now, this is the first time I've mentioned a time that wasn't just generalized as a number of Sundays from now, or number of Sundays ago, or next Sunday, or last Sunday. It's the first time I've ever actually used something like years. I remember I struggled with that, but I didn't know a better way of saying that. I wanted to avoid that, but it just ended up being the best way to do it. So they're fighting, going back and forth. I like that it's a series of 3 panels. And then there's a longer panel in between. And if you notice, they switch sides every time. So future 8 is on this side, Hans is over here, and now Hans is over here, and he's over on this side, to show the camera kind of spinning around them, or they're just spinning around fighting. I wanted to use that to show the movement. So Annie from the future sent him back to send a message, to deliver that message. Let me go back here. Here we go. And they continue on the sparring. And he's like, look, the only proof I can offer you is you'll not see a natural Sunday tonight, because they're over there celebrating it. And he's like, to let you know it's really me, you're not going to see that natural Sunday. And yeah, this here, the Hit the Track Saturday, pilots betting slips, rolling back Sunday with 7 extra ships is they're going to race spaceships, right? So people are putting up their pink slips on their race on their spaceships, and our crew, Annie, who's singing this, is like, we always win those races. We always come back with all these ships. Yeah, so that was the first verse, and they continue on with their fight. And then we come back over here, and these lines I got way out of control with the line widths on this. I was using a smaller template. I wasn't using like an 11 by 7. I do everything digitally, and I had I think I just had like a regular paper size, like 9.5 by 11 or 8.5 by 11, but I had it cropped right. I don't know. My lines are just way too thick. I went up to the bigger size, 11 by 17, and I reduced my brush. I'm still learning, but yeah, this is horrible, but we'll get past it. I like this one too. So Monday morning drinking, well, that's how it happens. Come Sunday, the whole crew is like, who was the captain? Just drinking so much we forget who the captain was. She ends up hitting him. She gets that first hit, busts them open. You can see parts and screws and circuits and everything flying out. And he's on the ground, and he opens the portal back up to the future. And he's like, it's funny. As much as you train me, I still can't beat this version. As much as you train me in the future, I still can't beat this younger version of you. And I like this right here. This is, we can look into the portal into the future, and we see Hands in the future. She's got this hooded cape on now. Looks like she has a sword here. And we can see Annie from the future too, man. She kind of looks a little grim here. I won't deny that there might be some Raiden from Metal Gear Solid influence here. But yeah, looks like maybe she's missing a jaw or something. I don't know, but she's just kind of rough looking, kind of more like she's been through some stuff. But yeah, so they disappear. Future versions of the characters nod back at the current version of the character, and yeah, so they just say, you hit me on the 8th swing. There was a whole lot of 8s in there, like, I delivered an 8-letter message, you hit me on the 8th swing, so on and so forth. And the song continues. Thursday we died, we fried the warp drive capacitors, whatever, see you Sunday, since we're all time travelers. And that's just a song. It's like if I was to say I'm a straight pimp, I'm not a pimp, I'm just so they're not really time travelers, it's just something they're saying. Okay, so now we can see Hands is coming back to where the party's going on. I love this picture of Annie in here, just rocking out, just jamming, shredding on the guitar, just yelling, hair flying. I love the way that turned out. I think I got a bigger drawing of this because I drew this before the people in the foreground, so I got the full piece of it. Yeah, love that. But they're all jamming. Let's see. She comes back. Song's wrapping up. Lean's there in the background with Red. Red's offering her a drink. She says no. And now the countdown. This is like the ball dropping on New Year's, right? So they got 10, 9, 8, and hey, this guy's name is 8. There was a lot of other 8s in this story. I don't think I tied all that together as well as I wanted to. But there was a theme because it's kind of about him a little bit, and just used that throughout. But here's the countdown. Here we go. You guys ready? Here comes a natural Sunday. And then what do you guys think is going to happen? Well, we were already told that you're not going to see it. Let's see if that actually pans out. And what do you know it? What do you know? We get the alert. This is an emergency announcement from the UTCP. And it's time to reset everything to Sunday 20, 30, 40, 50. And that kind of gets the crowd down. You can see that they're kind of got their head slumped here. Fox has got her arms up in the air like what, and Kick is holding his head. Nobody's happy. They were kind of excited to see a natural Sunday. And so Strum, Annie's not going to let this party die because of that. So she grabs the mic and just starts rocking again. And yeah, I like that picture of her too, just leaning back, shredding. You can see that the guitar with all the wires and stuff. And then she hits 8 in the head as she's swinging the guitar neck around. And yeah, there you go. A Doghouse Saturday night. Besides the line weights in this thing, God, look at that. That is so thick. I was still learning a lot here. But besides the line weights, man, I love doing this. I loved it because of the music. I wrote this. By the way, my rapper's name in high school was 6 Feet Deep. So I love rap. So yeah, writing this, I love doing it. I probably wrote about 4 different versions of this, and obviously it's still just kind of goofy country boy trying to write a rap. But that was really fun. I really liked it. I like playing with that. Like I said, I like to have music more involved in the story, so I was happy to be able to play around with that. And it was cool to do this fight scene. I will say I didn't swap, but I used reference. Like I would look at stuff, like especially this. I wouldn't know how to draw this kick here, but I did look at something and kind of use that. I didn't trace. I would just reference it, look at it, and try to draw something similar. But like some of these, yeah, like this right here, you can see he's trying to come up from under her, but she's blocking it. These blocks and all that. I took Tai Chi when I was younger. I took Tai Chi for about 2 years and remembered a lot of that stuff and just tried to apply some of that here. So I really liked the fight scene. I liked the music stuff. This stuff was just super fun to do. And yeah, man, I had a good time with this. So Doghouse Saturday Night. It's in the 2nd issue of the comic, and pick it up. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Thanks, dudes. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time where we wrap up this book with the story Crew. See ya.